The IORA Cup Series returns to Illinois to experience the jewel of the Chicagoland area. Welcome back to Joliet. It's the Chicagoland Speedway, and for 100 laps tonight, we get some intermediate action. It's a track unlike any other of its class, and we're excited to bring it back to the schedule here for Season 5. You're watching the American Ethanol 150, and as drivers get through qualifying tonight, back to the single car qualifying we've been used to at these oval events. Qualifying just got started, and Aladam Contreras, who returns for the first time this season, has just set his first lap. Thank y'all for stopping by and tuning in for an FTN doubleheader night. I'll be producing all of the action and commentating along the way. I'm David Kreutz, and we can't wait to bring you the action as Contreras concludes his qualifying run. Taking it all the way down to the track, the 92 is currently on the pole position, and you'll see right now it's going to be our single car qualifying setup. Contreras going to be coming down and in and slowing himself down. Now on the track is Xander McKinney. Number 40 gets on the move. For those who need a bit of a refresher, this is single car qualifying, which means that one driver gets one lap, and they'll be the only driver on the track during that time period. So, unlike what we've been so used to as of late, in terms of our qualifying structure, it's going to be a one and done, and now it's time to see Xander McKinney take to the track. Now it's going to be the number 40 on the move. So McKinney now is going to be the man who gets on the way, and here in the IORA Cup Series, we're getting things moving for the first time tonight. Chicagoland Speedway, it's a track, of course, that we've seen quite a few times, even in this week. If you're thinking about Tuesday night with the Highline Racing League, saw ourselves some exciting action and a 3-wide photo finish. It almost came down to Dylan Pote getting the victory there. A great win for him, and he'll be back racing later tonight. At the line, Xander McKinney will kick off his first lap. McKinney going to be on the way, and up next is going to be Devins Baker in the number 14. Baker going to get on the way here as he slowly but surely gets rolling. A few drivers making their first start tonight. We mentioned Aladam Contreras, but also it looks like tonight Jason Beckman returning in the number 10. So keep your eyes peeled. Familiar faces making their way to the circuit. At the line for Xander McKinney, he will drop down to the apron, and the number 40 is going to go up to the top of the charts by 89 thousandths of a second. Good lap there for Xander, and he moves all the way up to the top of the board with now up next Devins Baker. Baker comes across the stripe, and he's going to get through to start his one and only lap. Let's see what this number 14 can do as he moves through the first two turns down to the bottom side. Last time, of course, we went to one of these circuits in Charlotte Oval. It was all down to qualifying. A lot of drivers initially using the bottom side, but the top side ended up developing later in the qualifying session. Maybe that's going to be the case tonight, as Devin's going to go all the way up to the high side and come back down low to cut through the apron and come across with the fastest time now by over a tenth. Devins Baker goes provisional pole, and Bryce Colder due to back him up. Bryce in the number 98 tonight, going to be running in the middle groove through the first two turns, and it looks like he's going to go sliding, and he has only one qualifying lap. That will end his lap immediately, and now it's on to Corey Lyles. Lyles gets on the way. It's going to be Bryce done with his qualifying lap, and not the outcome he'd have liked to occur, and now it's going to be Corey Lyles. On Sunday, it's going to be Corey Lyles starting at the front of the grid for the SRL Cup Series season opener, so stay tuned live on FTN. Sunday night, River Page is going to be on the call then and there. SRL returns in a big way. It's going to be a very exciting night as Corey Lyles is set to be one of the many competing for the win. Right now, he's fighting for the pole position, and it looks like the JFR number 56 is rolling down the Brant back straightaway, and now hoping to find that opportunity to convert the speed he had in practice to the pole position. Fastest lap in practice with a 30.785, which would be good for pole at this current moment. It wasn't the fastest time overall, so we'll see if he can improve. At the line, that was Corey's fastest lap. It's a 37.25, so there's some gains made there for Corey Lyles at the line indeed. Joshua Sutherland's number 4 is next up on the way, and it's going to be on deck. Henry Kaloff, Alexander Balderas, and Brandon Dugan for the first time getting into motion and parking it at the pit road exit. Now Sutherland getting the man on the move with 14 minutes remaining in this session. This session will be automatically advanced when every driver gets a lap in here, so 5 drivers so far, just about a quarter of the field, have gotten their times taken. And as Joshua Sutherland comes across the line, he's going to be good for second. That time around, Joshua going to move up, and next on the lineup, Henry Caloff, the number 63, takes it through 1 and 2. So with Caloff on the way, the number 63 machine chasing after what could be a first career victory, already having some very solid runs this season in the fight for 4th in the regular season standings. And Caloff, even though he hasn't gotten that victory, his consistency has remained key, and that's the reason he's still up there for certain in the championship battle. At the line, Caloff taking provisional pole by 4 1/1000ths of a second, a good lap and good enough to prevail, at least for the time being. Brandon Dugan now gets going, and it's going to be Dugan at the line, making it up to the top of the track. Dugan going to be going all the way up high. You can see him there, that number 55 machine for Haggard Electrical, and it looks like now some drivers already slowly but surely taking it up to the top side. Brandon Dugan in the number 55 right up there, and he's ripping the top side. Maybe a preview for what's to come with River Page and the like. You'll see Brandon coming across the line here, and down to the apron he'll go. 30.821, so not going to be good enough to get inside the front row. Good for third as it stands, and he's going to end up parking it with Thomas Coonan coming across the stripe in his second career start. It's the number 068 making his way out. Coming across the back straightaway this time through Thomas in what's his first single car qualifying session, getting an opportunity to learn a little bit more about how it's going to be for the rest of the season. Racing with JFR, Aaron Schugel, Corey Lyles, and company there. It looks like another driver added to the team lineup, and maybe some more success for them in the session. It looks like for Thomas, he'll be lining up 2 spots behind Corey Lyles, at least for now. Now it's going to be Vincent Guecci coming across the way, and the number 88 moves on. He's going to be doing what Brandon Dugan did there and take it all the way high. I'm not quite sure if these drivers expected to be 2 laps the way they're performing here, maybe some of which not, of course, understanding what's going on. That's happened before, but Guecci now going to dive it deep into 3 and 4, and you can see going to take it to the bottom and charge right up to the top, going to the high side and coming across the line. Vincent Guecci, that's going to be only 0.007 of a second quicker than Brandon, but good for third all the same. Alexander Balderas, we'll see who he chooses to replicate, and it looks like now he's going to choose to go up to the top side. So an interesting cause here for these drivers who are choosing to stay up top. Maybe it's the right way to go about it. And it looks like as he comes across the Brant back straightaway, not much to worry about for Balderas in terms of control, but speed, that's the big question. Right now, Henry Caloff finds himself fastest by about 1/10 of a second over Vincent Guecci, Brandon Dugan, and 0.004 up on Corey Lyles. Coming across the line for Balderas, that's going to be good for 5th. So he's going to move up inside the top 5 for now as Casey Bentz makes his way right across the stripe. Late registration for Joe Armstrong. We'll see if he's going to be given any opportunity to qualify here. He just got out of the track for the first time on pit road, so we'll see whether or not he's going to be given 1 lap here, as he did join the session late, and of course, given that fact, did not set any practice time. So technically speaking, Armstrong might not be given that opportunity, and we'll see whether or not that's the call. Is coming across the line here, Casey Bentz is going to be going up into 7th as Jason Beckman's on pit road. Aaron Schugel is going to fly by, and the last of our JFR trio comes right through to start his lap. Now it's going to be Aaron Schugel making his way around, Sean Rowe on the circuit, and Chase Schaefer going to line himself up on pit road. The number 91 machine perhaps chasing a podium spot. We saw how good he was earlier in the campaign with races such as Auto Club. The intermediates, though, somewhat eluding the entire crew at JFR, and across the line there, not much improvement for Schugel. He's going to go 8th quickest, and it's going to be a 30.959. Up next, there's Sean Rowe, and for the second time this season, PBR gets a start, and it's going to be Rowe making it all the way up to the top side here, trying something out. It looks like a lot of drivers are going to be very partial to what's going on at the top, most of which going to be staying high through 1 and 2. Any choice to go down to 3 and 4 for Sean Rowe will not occur, And he's going to decide to run it all the way up to the top here. Coming across the stripe for row. It's going to be the bottom side of the apron and a 30.814. It's a dead heat with Vincent Guecci slightly quicker. Balderas is going to be pushed back to 6th. Dugan to 5th. And Guecci to 4th. Sean Rowe jumps up to 3rd with Chase Schaefer now on the way. So it's going to be Chase Schaefer's number 99 for Monster Designs. Already one win on the campaign so far, and the Atlanta Ace has returned. A part-time schedule for IORA competition this season, and getting back into the groove on Thursday nights, perhaps preparing to get back into the sim before next week in Road to Pro action. Schaefer, he's got the pole by a 1/10 of a second. And we saw him win last time he went out to the track. He's already back up to the front of the field. You can see now Jason Beckman for JFR going to make his first start of the season down on pit road. All the while, Carlos Truther is making it across. You can see that number 39 rushing down the back straightaway. And that ramp backstretch going to show only one driver on it for now. Truther, maybe a chance to slot in between Schaefer and Henry Kaloff. Coming across the line this time through, it's going to be Carlos Truther. Good for 4th. Just a few thousandths behind Lyles and Kaloff. It's going to be a second row for now as Jason Beckman also gets on the way. So with Jason Beckman riding up to the top side here, he's almost going to get in that wall and keep himself going. Power fully up on the top side. It looks like right now, everyone trying to figure out that perfect groove. Kaloff opting to go down to the bottom to get things done simply, but I think there's now an opportunity for these drivers to gain if they use the line up top just right. A few drivers have done it. Beckman going to be one of which, and he goes up to the 2nd spot on the board. 79 thousandths out. A great way to start his season. It's going to be Jason Beckman up to 2nd. Nathan Palawada now on the track with River Page on deck. And in the hole, Josh Lilly rolling down onto pit road. Nathan Palawada goes through 3 and 4 down to the bottom side, so he will not be attempting that very successful line up high and instead try to work things out on the bottom groove here. At the line here, it's going to be Palawada. Quick enough for 2nd, and it works very well for the 78 crew, slotting right in between Chase and Beckman. It looks like a few different grooves are now starting to come in again as River Page opts to go a little bit lower. Josh Lilly now getting on the way while River is in his one and only flying lap. A little bit of contact there, but he stays at it. And it looks like River Page not going to give in despite a little bit of that rubbing all throughout the lap. The number 24 for Floppo Racing going to be coming across the stripe here. And at the line for River Page, it's going to be a 30.639, just about 17 thousandths off. Maybe that tap with the wall made the difference as River Page is now going to be up in the front row. Josh Lilly's going to be on the move, and Lilly quick in qualifying as of recent. Maybe a chance to jump up there as well. Let's take a ride on board with the numbers 97 for his lap. Josh Lilly at the line, going to go 16th quick, so a struggling lap there for the 97. Not at all what he wanted, and he'll drop to the back with Jim Thurston now on the way. 5 minutes flat left in this session. Thurston going to be one of the drivers we're still waiting to get a lap on with, and it looks like 2 other drivers who do not have time. It's Bryce Collar, who had that incident, and I don't think they're going to give one to Joe Armstrong, given that he joined late. As such, Thurston coming across the stripe here with the final opportunity to put one at the top of the board. He does so by nearly 2/10. Thurston quickest by a country mile, and qualifying has concluded. Walk off pole position, the 96 fastest after all. Checkered flag is out. Just like that, it's going to be James Thurston up to the top, and a very impressive performance there in the final moments. Just like that, Qualifying has concluded. You see up in front now the pace car and the field getting together, and it's going to be the driver, the number 96 at the top of the board as a result of his heroics there in qualifying with a 30.479. It'll be James Thurston up to the top with Chase Schaefer just about a tenth and a half off. It's going to be him, the number 99 machine, there indeed in second. Third spot is going to be River Page, and it's going to be then Nathan Palawada in fourth. Gap between those two drivers just about 4/100ths, with Jason Beckman rounding out the top five, and Henry Kaloff then scored in position number 6. Seventh place is going to be given to Corey Lyles, and it's eighth for Carlos Truther. Truther getting an end-of-line penalty, however. It looks like he's electing to drop to the back of the field. Same is going to go as we look past Carlos Truther to the drivers in fifth row. Sean Rowe and Vincent Guecci, they're going to be there rounding out the top 10, and it's Brandon Dugan 11th with Alexander Balderas position number 12. Thomas Coonan is 13th with Casey Bent 14th, and it's 15th for Aaron Schugel. 16th place Joshua Sutherland. Josh Lilly is 17th with Devins Baker then position number 18, and Xander McKinney gets the run in 19th tonight with Aladam Contreras in his first start this season 20th. Joe Armstrong 21st, Bryce Calder in 22nd, and to round out the field, Braxton Whitaker 23rd and alone on row 12. That's your starting grid tonight in Chicagoland. It's time for the iRacing official pace car to get it out of neutral and get rolling for the first time today. Now with the grid rolling off in full, Jim Thurston with an opportunity to go for gold tonight, one of which, of course, redemption it could be from the Charlotte Roval. We saw the action in the last lap. James Thurston and Daniel Mosteller, those two drivers going at it at the Roval. Thurston making one mistake and Demos getting on the way. That gave the number 87 the race victory, and for Thurston, of course, he still ended up with a podium there, but trouble at the end, and there's not much else he could do as a result. Maybe tonight, an opportunity to redeem himself and go to victory lane much quicker than everyone else in practice, so you gotta wonder, is there something with this crew that's different from everyone else? More than a tenth of a second in qualifying, a huge deal at a track like Chicagoland. Not at all an easy track to gain that time. And here's the iRacing official pace car is set to drop down and in. Thurston, Schaefer, Page, Palawada. Those are your fast four in qualifying. Let's see how they hold up on our very first lap of the day. It's going to be Thurston down to the bottom side looking to grab a gear. The green flag's out here in Chicagoland. Welcome back to Joliet. The line, Thurston, Schaefer, Page, the 1, 2, 3 as follows. The 96 up to the top side of the track, and it looks like he's having a little bit more trouble holding off on that lead. But who's to say he's going to be the one trying now as Schaefer wiggles, and he's going to give up that chance on his own accord. So Thurston gets away on lap number 1. Everyone else in the field getting themselves back in a rhythm. Josh Lilly down to the outside, and he's going to go further in, as a matter of fact, to make it 3 wide with Brandon Dugan. And there, right alongside, it's Joe Armstrong. 3 abreast at the line, but a lot of room in between them, so not a worry as they stay 3. You look at the back of the field here with guys like Casey Bent, Joshua Sutherland, the 40 of Xander McKinney, and all of which seem to be getting away quite nicely on these opening laps with a few battles in between. Now Carlos Truther coming up on Devins Baker. Truther decided to start at the back of the field despite qualifying in position number 8. Is now going to give himself the opportunity to come right back up at the line. Now Chase Schaefer up top and Jim Thurston down low. Maybe an opportunity for Schaefer to use that middle groove to his advantage. Let's see how well it's developed here as he stays up top, gets it all down to the back stretch, but it looks like Thurston with enough momentum to carry and clear. All of a sudden, Schaefer in a runner-up spot again. River Page going to be there in third. The Flopper Racing number 24. It's still going to be Page. You're running in the outside spot of the podium. Jason Beckman fourth. Nathan Palawada fifth. Alexander Balderas then in sixth. 5 laps in out of 100. In the early going, most drivers getting themselves separate. Thomas Coonan now working with Corey Lyles, and it looks like Thomas making it up from 13th up to 11th so far. Maybe a chance to keep on going as he gets under Lyles. Now trying to look under Vincent Guecci, and Guecci's going to be there with Sean Rowe no longer. Looks like Rowe got away, and now chases down Henry Cowlock. The second pack in the field still much closer than what you see up in front. You see guys like Casey Bentz, Aaron Schugel, Xander McKinney all working around one another. And that number 36 occupying the bottom side, Xander McKinney right up top. It looks like now McKinney gonna have a slight run that's taken away. He's on the wall, and it's gonna now be Casey Bentz getting the drive off him. And on the inside, Casey Bentz will go. Aladam Contreras in the 92. First start this season for the 92 team. And it looks like now maybe a chance to get inside the top 20 and lock that in. Contreras struggling in qualifying, and so far that's the only thing that's been to his detriment. Maybe a few more chances now to get those positions locked up as more drivers begin to make those mistakes. And with how close you're running up to the wall, expect a few drivers to get a beat down from the Brandt back straightaway as the night progresses. No stranger these drivers will be come the conclusion of this event. Lyles with Joshua Sutherland, in addition to Brandon Dugan with Josh Lilly. They'll be side by side here at the stripe. It looks like up in front, everyone's sorted out, and Thurston is now new race leader. He's got it at the top of the board. You'll see there Joshua Sutherland going to take it 3 wide on Dugan and Lilly. Maybe a chance to make it by one of them. Maybe it's just going to be Sutherland for now. You see that 55 getting the run and making by. Quick move, and it's good for at least the time being. As they go into 3 and 4, it's another chance to drive deep and go at it once again. Joshua Sutherland is now going to find himself all the way down low, but Carlos Truther decides to go lower. He gets by Brandon Dugan, and up next, it might be the number 55 and the 4 to keep on working with as the Haggard Electrical Chevrolet loses a lot more time. And he's going to find himself now 1 spot further back. Carlos Truther makes it right into the middle of the 3, and he's now inside the sandwich and no longer finds himself on the outside portion to make a move down to the bottom side. Now Josh Sutherland, the next target. All the while, Chase Schaefer coming back up on your leader. We make it now to lap number 10 of 100. Chase Schaefer right up top now, going to have an opportunity to take that spot up to the high side and looking for the race lead. Schaefer's got it, and now we'll see what Jim Thurston can do on the way out of 3 and 4. Down to the bottom side, Thurston finds himself all the way down there, and he should be good to take it down to the apron at the line, though it looks like Schaefer now. He's got it, and he's going to be up in front going into 1 and 2. Jim Thurston can hold that bottom side, and that's the best thing he's got going for him right now. Maybe a chance to keep on defending as they're going to get side by side yet again. River Page, Jason Beckman also in the mix, and Beckman waiting in the wings here with River Page right behind. Both drivers, they would stand to benefit huge if there were to be a little bit more contact between your two protagonists. But it looks like right now, both of which have gotten away nicely. 11 lap sim out of 100. And side by side, your top 2 remain. It looks like now Thurston with a slight edge on the bottom side, and that might be enough to carry out of the back straight, and we'll see if it's good enough through 3 and 4. Coming through now with River Page working the bottom side with them. Jim Thurston's going to get that lead again. Schaefer's up on the wall, and he is loose, and now Chase Schaefer falls out of the podium, and he's got big trouble now, going to be damaged and beaten down into 5th. Just like that, it's the driver of the 99, Chase Schaefer. He dropped back big, putting himself now in the 6th as Alexander Valderas gets right by him. Nathan Palawada and Jason Beckman going to be just ahead. Sean Rowe now going to be fighting with Henry Kaloff, and you see now it's the driver, the number 19, even Sean Rowe getting by Henry, and he's going to dive deep. Kaloff does, but not enough to make a pass. A very, very nice move there from Rowe to defend at the right time and get away with the spot. Now that number 19 works down to the bottom side yet again. Kaloff decides to go for a little bit of a switchback maneuver. And you can see there, the rookie, Thomas Coonan, coming all the same. So it looks like when there's one, there goes two. And now Sean Rowe's got a little bit of double trouble on his back end. We'll see how he handles it here as he approaches 3 and 4 with the edge. Still not an easy circumstance with Kaloff running side by side with Thomas Coonan. You see there again, that number 68 up to the top, makes the move, and goes by. It's now Sean Rowe having to defend up high, and he will once again be sent up there. Not much you can do on those switchback maneuvers. At some point you gotta give, and giving never gonna be easy, but it looks like it works out for Rowe once more. Just having a lot of faith in his run so far in terms of exactly where he's placed the car, and that's been the biggest deal to this point, exactly that location. It looks like now Thomas Coonan making another spot up on Henry Kaloff, but Kaloff trying to take it back, as all the while you see right behind Joshua Sutherland fighting now with Aaron Schugel. In addition, Brandon Dugan, Aladam Contreras, and this is about a 6-car pack. Going back to Contreras, take a ride on board right now, and Aladam has the best seat in the house as they go 3 wide right in front of him. Now Contreras going to be up in an 18 with a side-by-side battle going on to maybe get one more spot out of it. You see there, Casey Bentz barely gets ahead, and number 36 runs off the corner nicely to take a spot. As Sean Rowe now will get by Kaloff fully. Alexander Valderas is now going to see Nathan Palawada and Chase Schaefer do battle. All of a sudden, Schaefer's gotten himself in good shape to get inside the podium once again. Jason Beckman has fallen off pace-wise, and it looks like the leaders have too. Despite the damage, despite the trouble, it looks like Chase Schaefer still much likelier will be the fastest driver on the circuit consistently now, as he's going to drop down to the bottom side. Not much more Beckman can do. He's just going to have to let that one slide, and there goes Chase Schaefer. He's going to go down and deep. It's the 99 now, looking for the race lead in a few laps time, perhaps. First, of course, you got to get up to third to make it up the podium. And Schaefer has once again returned inside the top 3, lunging down to the bottom side. He's going to keep that low groove going while Beckman gets a chance in the middle and the top. And we'll see who gets out with the edge here. Looks like Beckman a little bit in the wall. Not going to help him out, but it looks like nothing detrimental just yet. And they'll stay side by side. Running down the low, it's Schaefer in the 99 up into third. Half a second back on the race lead battle. 2 familiar faces. Jim Thurston and River Page battling up in front. When these two drivers go at it, there always tends to be an exciting battle that goes through, and they've raced each other oh so many times. It looks like sometimes it's Thurston that gets it done, other times it's River Page. As of recent, Page has really settled the score for himself and gotten quite a few intermediate victories, but tonight might be a bit of a change. It looks like overall Thurston has a slightly more dominant pace over his rival in Page, but Chase Schaefer could play as the outsider who goes in to get the victory. He's getting closer once again, and it looks like those gains are no fluke at the line. It's going to be Chase Schaefer still a few hundredths of a second quicker than Jim Thurston, and he's more than a tenth of a second quicker now than River Page. So River's going to have to watch out. First off, he's the buffer. We'll see how much longer he holds on as Chase Schaefer continues his relentless pursuit back up inside the top 2 and potentially the lead. Joe Armstrong now coming up on the 68 of Thomas Coonan. You'll see there, Thurston out of the frame. We're looking back in the middle of the field. Joe Armstrong with a blinker too, but it looks like he should be just fine as Coonan and Callum come by, turns 1 and 2, and they've got Armstrong right behind to look at. We'll see whether or not the driver, that number 22, has a chance to get through. Of course, when he wants supposed to be and get by, but it looks like right now Kaloff and Coonan have kept it all the way locked up. Up top, it's going to be the 68, down to the bottom, the 63, and Armstrong going to have to make some room as he decides to go side by side with Kaloff. Can't quite get it there on the 68 of Thomas Coonan at the line again, 23 laps through, and Joe Armstrong makes it by in that Toyota Supra. That's for 10th. Maybe now looking to get up in the single digits as Alexander Balderas gets up to Beckman and gets up to Nathan Palawada. Now it's going to be Balderas looking down at the bottom side, looking for a redemption race of his own after that victory of Auto Club. Of course, he had a great performance there. He's had some speed to fight for race wins. Beckman going to have to fight the car. He saves it and keeps it together. The number 14 coming off of the final corner looked to be all out of sorts. And luckily, all is well. That could have been substantially worse. And oh, he's still loose. He's going up to the top of the track again, drifting through 1 and 2. And Jason Beckman, he's all out of control there, but he's going to stay just barely on the circuit, falling down to 11th from 8th in 1 lap. And now we'll see whether or not he can get back into a groove. As you see him there on the top side, loose again. Not as bad as last time or the time before, but it's obvious, whatever way he's driving it, it's killing the tires, and it's killing his performance. He's down to 13th, 8 positions down from his qualifying spot, and he just lost another. That puts the 14 in 14th place. So Jason Beckman, despite the fact, of course, he saved it and kept it on the track, which is the best thing you can do, he lost an awful lot of time. We'll see whether or not it's even going to be possible to recover. As we're watching a little bit of a wiggle up top, it was a substantial wiggle that set it all off, and that's the big thing. When you have that one big moment that changes how the car reacts, you're going to feel it, and you're going to feel it for quite a while there. As, of course, the number 10 of Beckman finds himself now further on back. Corey Lyles is going to face substantial trouble. He spins, he's on his own, and he gets off the track, so Lyles is going to end up going around and spinning. And we're going to take a look back right now to figure out what happened as Corey looked to be alone. Now we're going to take a look half a minute back and see what caused it for Corey Lyles as he goes around spinning in a similar vein to that of Jason Beckman, just about the exact same location. And it looks like a tricky spot beginning to develop here at a track temperature of 91 Fahrenheit. Corey Lyles all out of control. He comes up the track. That could have been a caution. We got pretty lucky it wasn't. Jim Thurston now going to come up on Corey Lyles, the errant number 56, and we'll see whether or not Corey can keep it together here because the leaders are coming by. Jason Beckman all the while, he's going to have a few struggles himself. One thing to notice, these are 2 JFR drivers, and they're struggling at the same time. Teammates, they could be driving the car pretty similarly, and that's one thing to note. We haven't seen Schugel or any other driver on the team fall victim to it. However, for Jason Beckman and Corey Lyles, something about the way they're driving the car looks to have adverse side effects. And Jason is just about all out of sorts here. It's a matter of time until he ends up going down and causing a caution. As it stands, Beckman going to find himself running in 17th from 5th, from 7th to 23rd for Lyles. Oh, he's drifting in front of traffic now. Jason Beckman is all out of control, and you got to wonder, is it intentional at this point? Right on board with the number 10. Let's take a look-see. And at this rate, it looks more like a show than anything as Beckman is keeping himself out of other drivers' ways, but it's still a pretty dangerous hobby here on the racing circuit. Jason Beckman out of control. Maybe he's in control. It just doesn't look it as Jason's going to kick it loose, get that drift going once again, and that's what's going on. Getting some good TV time for the team, but they're not up in front. I don't think it's going to be the best circumstance for him to go at it continuously. Joshua Sutherland here with Bryce Kohler. It looks like Bryce gets past, and Joshua will make it by to get up into 17th. Oh, that's a close one as well, and both drivers pushing each other as hard as they can out of the corner. Take a ride on board right now with Bryce Kohler. He's in a tight battle, and Sutherland is loose. Joshua's in the wall, and he's going to end up in it big. He'll keep on going, but Bryce gets away, and another driver facing trouble out of 4. Now there's a tight battle again. How about we ride on board with Dugan, who's in the heart of the fight? Now the number 55 is going to be up into 11th here, making it through what is a tight minefield. Eladon Contreras is further out of the way, but the rest of this pack is still pretty tight. Henry Galoff, Aaron Schugel still going to be there. Schugel looks to be all together, and one of those few JFR guys that looks to be driving straight tonight. That's Corey Lyles, ended up a lap machine, and at the same time, it looks like Truther up in the wall, and we'll see whether or not that number 49 machine or those around can catch up as the 39 of Truther ends up losing a spot there to Brandon Dugan, and Brandon gonna make it up into the top 10. Jason Beckman still losing time on this lap, and it looks like he is down to the apron, so perhaps the end of what he's gotten up to for the previous 10 odd laps. There's 34 laps in here. We're coming closer and closer to what could be our one and only pit stop cycle. And Beckman sees the leaders approaching, and best not to get involved with them here, as James Thurston going to be coming around with River Page and Chase Schaefer, 1, 2, 3, who have been all throughout this race as tight as it gets. And now you'll see it coming up on Beckman. It looks like he's going to get out the way momentarily. He's still there, getting a little bit loose into turn number 1. As Jim Thurston comes by, we'll see if it works out here. And Carlos Truther, he's down to pit road. He'll be on a 2-stop strategy tonight, and he comes in at the end of lap number 34. Jim Thurston going to be up and ahead, but now green flag pit stops on the way. Truther opts to make it through, and we'll see what he can do for the rest of the night here. It looks like going for a strategy that is safer and will definitely get to the end of this race. However, I don't know if it is the winning call necessarily. That will come to fruition later in the going here. Nothing really for certain. At least for now, we'll watch out and figure out what these drivers have in store to get the checkered flag as the night progresses here. Jason Beckman still getting so loose lap after lap, and you can see him down to the apron yet again. Hasn't caused any problems with the leaders, and it looks like he will indeed be no problem there. Nevertheless, we will keep on going, and Xander McKinney will be coming down to pit road himself, 20th spot on the order. And just like that, Xander drops in, and Jason Beckman going to find himself in as well. 2 drivers coming in at once, and Beckman decides to go for a 36-lap stint, albeit with a little bit more of the extracurriculars on the track going on at the same time. Top 3 gotten away nicely, and everyone now going to be far more spread apart, besides Page and Thurston, who have remained oh so close to one another. The difference, it's not clear just yet. Maybe Thurston now going to have a chance to defend and get Page off of his back, or it's time for River to make it through. As you can see, that 24 opting to go down to the bottom side. He's got it down and deep. Best River Page is all right long for the lead, and now going to bang doors for the first time. Side by side, coming out of 2 into 3 and 4. River Page gonna look low, and he looks to be clear. Does he get the run off the corner though? That is the big question. Looks to be good enough, and at the line, Page will just barely be ahead, but they're side by side. It's gonna be dead even all over as they come into turns 1 and 2. Chase Schaefer opting to go down and in on a 38-lap stint. It looks like another driver opting to go for a 2-stop strategy. Maybe that's the way to go tonight. Keep in mind, when it comes to our fuel cell, there's a limit of 80% on the day. So maybe not going to see that one-stopper come into play. Could be the 40-40-20 or 40-30-30 to get out of this one. So it's going to be a different look if James Thurston can't go all the way. River Page just went down and in, and as he comes through, more drivers going to be battling. You see Josh Lilly with Sean Rowe, Vincent Guecci going to spin, but all for him seems to be well as he gets going yet again. Page is going to come through quickly, and it looks like he won't be in any trouble. Now you got to wonder who's up next to save. Jim Thurston finds himself still in the lead, and we'll see whether or not he signals this time by. At a speed of 157 miles an hour out of the corner, he will keep on going and conclude his 40th lap. About 10 laps away. Maybe a chance he goes a little bit longer, but the risk can get around, and it looks like as it stands, it's going to be Thurston, Nathan Paluada, Alexander Balderas, 1, 2, 3. Looks like YouTube having a bit of trouble as a streaming system for the past 2 days, and once again, that's manifesting. We've got clear signal to iRacing, so we should be able to keep on bringing you the action, but if anything happens in terms of jitters, that looks to be out of our control, back and forth with YouTube servers, and now Casey Benz coming right down and in. Josh Lilly going to be with Thomas Coonan right now, and you see see Lilly and Coonan beating on each other. Oh, Josh Lilly just barely gets through. I think Coonan's got a penalty, though. They were both just about halfway out. Specifically, Coonan taking the hit, and just like that, the driver of the number 68 opts to go through, and he's got himself back on pit road again. He's going to miss his stall to add insult to injury. Josh Lilly might have just gotten a little bit luckier getting on the way as Jim Thurston opts to come down and in. That gives Balderas the lead and brings, in addition, oh, Corey Lyle's going to miss his stall big time. That's a penalty for number 56. And just like that, it's going to be Lyles in line now with Sean Rowe, Devins Baker, Henry Kaloff, Aladam Contreras. And it looks like now, as they all come down and in, it's going to be Lyles who gets the worst of it, and his teammate Schugel coming through as well. Balderas is up ahead. He's got the advantage. Now we'll see whether or not he's trying to tire save. One of the drivers who, of course, has tried the alternate strategy before, but tonight it looks like he will no longer. It's going to be Joe Armstrong sliding to get up to Balderas there and at the line. Two drivers coming in at once. This will give Brandon Dugan the overall race lead, 44 laps in, out of 100. He's got River Page coming up on the top side there. You see him coming by. And it's going to be River now making that move all the way up to the top side to get back on the lead lap, and he should be back to the lead overall as he gets cycled through. Devins Baker going to be second, tentatively speaking. He has not gone down to pit road. That is the reason. And now Brandon Dugan opts to make it in. For Devins Baker, he's going to be the final driver taking the opportunity. And there he goes. It's going to be Baker on the way in. And just like that, the 14 loose, but he keeps it together, and just like that, your green flag pit cycle has concluded. Leader is Chase Schaefer. River Page comes out second, and Jim Thurston third, as we get ourselves set up for what will be the second half of this race. Now, it's going to be the number 99 of Chase Schaefer, advantageous, with Brandon Dugan down a pit road. Devins Baker likewise off the track. It's the number 99 holding fort and keeping himself up ahead here in Joliet, Illinois. Now, River Page going to find himself 2/10 out on James Thurston. However, the reason is he got on a pit road first and decided to go for that undercut. Now, given the fact that every driver will not make it on this run, it's more likely to see the undercut work out tonight than usual because we're not going to go the rest of the race distance the way we're looking at it. There's an 80% fuel limit, so 80% of 50 is 40. We should not be able to go much longer than about lap number 86, and realistically, it's going to be a split stop strategy where drivers try to meet in the middle and go from there to balance everything out just right. So, wouldn't expect Thurston to have the easiest of times getting that up to River Page, but I don't think it's all too unlikely now, as you see Joshua Sutherland in the mix. And Joshua right now going to find himself on a 5-lap-old stint of tire. A little bit of damage on the right side, though. As such, Thurston going to pass him quickly and make the move 47 laps in out of 100. Take a look on board now at Thurston as he tries to chase down River Page. You see how close James Thurston's now gotten, going up to the high side. River Page now going to have a little bit of trouble as he works down to the bottom groove trying to defend. It looks like he should be good to go to hold fort in the bottom, but he's going to lose that position at least tentatively. Thurston now going to put himself right up on the top side, looking to get that run around, and he is pushing hard because I think Thurston's end goal might be to get up to Chase Schaefer. Schaefer right now is going to be a few seconds ahead, but likewise, he's got a bit of a disadvantage right now, and that is he's on an older set of rubber than just about everyone in the field, except for Lapper Jason Beckman and Xander McKinney. The problem right now for Chase Schaefer is the fact that he's on an 11-lap stint. And compared to Jim Thurston, 7 laps, or River Page, who's on a 10-lap run, he's going to find himself on the far side of just about the entire field. Thurston he's got an advantage, of course, of youth right now. Very few drivers have a stint younger than 7 laps. Right now, one driver who does is Alexander Balderas, the other is Brandon Dugan, and maybe you look a little bit further back and you find Devins Baker. However, Thurston going to find himself the rare driver up in front who is this opportunity as we come across to the second half here. You're watching live on FTN, and right now, Joliet, Illinois, it is not disappointing. Just Chicagoland Speedway, the place to be tonight, and the American Ethanol 150 has just gotten going indeed. The Monster Designs Ford Mustang has pulled himself through to become the dominant figure so far. Even though he has not found himself on the pole position, strategy has worked out exactly how he wanted, and as such, coming across the line, he's in his own zip code with a 3+ second lead and might be able to hold on for the next 10-15 laps without any troubles. You'll look back to see guys like Lilly and Brandon Dugan duking it out. Casey Bentz makes it by Brandon. That's a quick pass for the driver of the number 55. Brandon Dugan being the man who loses the spot, and as such, it's a quick move for Dugan down at 14th, Bentz up to 13th. Aladam Contreras and Henry Kaloff going to be now fighting in the bottom realm of the top dozen. Aaron Schugel inside the top 10, hoping to fend off is Alexander Balderas against Thomas Coonan. How about Thomas right now, that number 68, the rookie, coming in. He's been at top 10 pace ever since his debut last week, and running with JFR, already an established outlet this season as a team that now houses 4 drivers in this race, a few of which having more troubles than others. Today, Coonan get the opportunity to carry the banner for his squad, and he is up in front. He's done a pretty good job so far as Alexander Balderas tries to look down to the inside, then goes up top as you see right now, side by side. The 68 to the bottom, Balderas right up top, and it looks like now Throttle going to have a little bit of an opportunity here as he takes it high side. Coonan defends low, side by side, but the 95 gets the lunge out of the corner and through the ramp back straightaway. Advantage in Balderas' favor. So a quick pass there for Alexander Balderas up into 8th. Looking a little bit further back, you see Aladam Contreras coming up in the number 63 of Henry Kaloff. A few familiar faces making their very first start this season in Contreras and Jason Beckman. It's been several seasons since we've seen the both of which. However, familiar paint scheme for Aladam Contreras and that M&M's number 92. And you see him there running very well in 12th. Given the fact he started in 20th, it's been an up and up climb for this number 92 team, and it looks like maybe still a few spots to make up if he stays with Henry Kaloff, or maybe a few other drivers come right back down to him. That green flag pit stop definitely changed a lot for these drivers. You see a few of which, like Corey Lyles, now 2 laps down. Joshua Sutherland, Vincent Guecci, Jason Beckman, Xander McKinney also facing serious blows as a result. So it's a different outlook the field has right now relative to what it was early in the race, because pit strategy can shift a lot of drivers up and down the order. So with that in mind here, maybe an opportunity to wait it out and hope that pit strategy is going to come sooner than later. We're 57 laps in, and it's going to be a 40-lap run at the very longest, so we're about halfway through pit stop stint number 2 before we go down a pit road for the second and final time and wrap things up for once and for all. The number 99, though, of Chase Schaefer has lost quite a bit of his lead overall, and it looks like now Thurston going to be within 15/10 of a second. Looking down at the bottom side on Xander McKinney, quick pass around that number 40. And Thurston finds himself now in the territory to maybe make up a few more spots. One more he's got to make up in particular is not just track position, it's on the overall running order. Schaefer finds himself up in front here down the ramp back straightaway. But that might change as Jim Thurston is making his moves slowly but surely, building up a little bit more speed and coming across the line faster and faster. That time by, he was 3/10 quicker than that of his rival here in Chase Schaefer. So hopefully now we're beginning to see the battle progress more and more, with Chase Schaefer finding himself advantageous, but maybe he's going to lose that speed a little bit more and more as the race progresses, as Jason Beckman might be back to his original tricks. And you'll see the number 14 up to the top side, getting it all the way up high, and them kicking it a little bit loose. And right now with Contreras and Joshua Sutherland coming up, not as much. He'll get out the way here of Contreras as Sutherland gets loose in his own right. And Brandon Dugan now going to be down low on the bottom side of Devins Baker, hoping to find a move around that number 14. Brandon Dugan looking down low. We've already got pit stop cycles in progression. Going to be Joshua Sutherland and Jason Beckman coming in. Looks like Beckman going to get a little bit of damage on the right side as both drivers make their way through. And now pit road occupied yet again for a strategic purpose. Got to watch out from here on. As you see now, drivers making their way down and in. Beckman, Sutherland, both of which coming through, and all of a sudden now you look up in front, maybe a few more drivers going to follow this lead and making it momentarily. A battle now beginning to brew again. Sean Rowe with Nathan Palawada. You'll see the driver, that number 19. Right there, looking for fourth. He goes down to the inside, as does Nathan Palawada, and both drivers are going to run nice and easy into the corner again. And coming out of four, going to be a gap of now 1/10 of a second. You'll see him coming through, and at the stripe, 62 laps in. Still no change in spot here, but it could be for Thurston and Schaefer. Jim Thurston now within 2/10. Thurston up to the high side once more. Now looking for an opportunity to take that race lead all the way back. He's got himself now right there. The gap is going to be within 1/10 of a second for the first time all race long. The 96 looking down low on Chase Schaefer. Going to be now Schaefer going up to the top side. The bottom groove goes to the Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport Machine. Mustang on Mustang. Now that 96 looks up top again. Set himself up. Got close. Wasn't quite able to do it that time by. And next up, it's going to be the driver of the number 99, perhaps facing off against Thurston for the second time. Both drivers are now running up top, maybe trying to save a little bit more of that tire. We are now at the point where the final pit stops of the night, the window is open. Nobody's decided to go for it just yet. I think they're going to lay off of it just a bit longer. Schaefer gets loose with pressure from Jason Beckman. There goes Thurston down to the bottom side. Schaefer tries to defend. Not going to work out. He has to wiggle up to the top side. And now the 96 decides to go low. Beckman, the lapper, decides to go lower. Gets loose. Gets out of the driver's way. 3 wide of the line. But it looks like Schaefer now going to have pressure from the lap machine of Jason Beckman. And now Thurston has to go in 3. They both get squeezed, and as such, it's going to be a little bit more trouble for Schaefer than anticipated. Contact on the quarter panel, and as such, the 96 is going to have to lay off once again. It's going to be Chase Schaefer getting the lead, but only just, and it is not at all an easy fight. These two drivers have gotten themselves slowly but surely closer to one another, but it looks like today, we still got a few more laps to go. Pit cycle coming up. Slowly but surely, drivers will get themselves up to pit road one more time. Nathan Palawada, Sean Rowe going to be going at it all the same. And they're going to be side by side, as a matter of fact. And you see here exactly what's going on. The 19 machine, the number 78, all with each other, and no problem there. But for Chase Schaefer, he's now going to see Beckman and James Thurston working at each other. Perhaps it looks like he's working with them. And now the 96 takes the race lead. Jim Thurston to the point. Schaefer decides to go right back up high, and it looks like for him there's another opportunity to take that lead using that middle groove and trying to get a run. Thurston gets hooked, and the leaders make contact. Caution is out. Your top 2 drivers, dominant today, end up making big contact, and this changes everything. Yellow flags out. Let's take a look back and figure out what caused it. Just like this, the hammer has been dropped. The 96 sent up in the wall there. Schaefer tagging and bringing him right back up. And that is trouble Just about the worst it could get for the 96 of Thurston, and his front end is destroyed and all. Chase Schaefer gets away with some right side damage, and now everyone has to come down and into pit road. Thurston is still on the track, and he is sitting there. I think he's trying to get away without towing, and Xander McKinney is going to try to help him out here. We'll ride on board with McKinney for just a moment, and you can see he's trying to line the bumper up just right. And if this is going to work out, it would be the saving grace of James Thurston's night. Taking a look now and sacrificing his night for Thurston's. Xander McKinney now going to give Thurston a shove and try to get him all the way back to pit road. It's not going to be easy for these two. It's going to take quite a while. But towing an iRacing is such a risk because the number, it sometimes seems like it's longer in some places, shorter in others. There's really no way to truly calculate it. So right now it's going to be Thurston getting that shove in, and it's going to be a guarantee that he can get pit service immediately rather than playing a guessing game. 69 laps in, and it's going to be a nice run off of pit road for Thurston with Page then second, then Joseph Armstrong third to Sean Rowe and Josh Lilly. Alexander Balderas is going to be in sixth after Josh, Nathan Palawada seventh, Thomas Coonan, Aladam Contreras, and Henry Kaloff round out the top 10. Quick scramble, but the 99 remains your race leader. And as such, it's going to be the Monster Designs machine advantageous here, taking it all in and moving on the way out as your overall top driver. 69 laps in out of 100. We would like to thank our partners at iRacing Motorsport Simulations once again for making all of this sim racing action possible. If you'd like to find out a bit more about iRacing, check out their websites for discounts of 40% or more for every subscription, no matter its length. And make sure to check out the NASCAR newsletter, which you're going to see right now on your screen. To scan the QR code, make sure to check them out after tonight's broadcast, and we'll be right back with 2 laps to green this time by. You're watching the Chicagoland Speedway at the IORA Cup Series, and we'll return after a message from our friends at iRacing Motorsport Simulations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
One lap to green this time by, and it's going to be Chase Schaefer getting back here after involving himself in that caution with James Thurston. And now that we're getting set to go at it once more, it's going to be our first restart of the night. 71 laps in, what had been a caution-free race to this point is now going to look completely different. Thurston right now finds himself currently on the lead lap in 21st. And thanks to the number 40 of Xander McKinney, he made everything work out, and now Thurston's back up there. And it's a huge, of course, issue for Thurston if he were to go one lap down. But McKinney sacrificing himself and staying one down. He's there, getting back with the pack. And Thurston's chance, while not wholly gone, it's not going to be easy. River Page down at the bottom, and Chase Schaefer right up top. Let's go at it again. Double file to get things going. Chase Schaefer right up high and River Page down low. You'll see him go neck and neck when we go green, and we'll see whether or not Page can even get the jump here. Maybe a chance for River to join the race leading battle and put himself right up in the conversation, as it's going to be Chase Schaefer bringing him right back, grabbing a gear on the top side, a little bit of shuffling behind, but everyone gets through nicely, and we are green for our first restart of the night. Now it's going to be Joe Armstrong looking right down low in the Toyota Supra, and you can see Chase Schaefer going to get a little bit of a knock there, but no real contact. Now Armstrong looking to the bottom side, the best he's looked all throughout the night, and the number 22 takes the race lead. Joe Armstrong going to be right there neck and neck with Chase Schaefer at the line, 73 laps in. Schaefer now is a new competitor to deal with as Joe Armstrong jumps out in front, and everyone's going to be back on a level playing field with the 22 up at the point. Chase Schaefer deciding to go to the bottom side. The caution is out yet again. It's going to be Braxton Whitaker, Devins Baker, and Joshua Sutherland, all of which destroyed. Caution's out. Let's take a look at why, as it looks like another close battle. It turns hectic fast. Beckman into Braxton, and then Whitaker came right back up, got Devins Baker, and that caught Joshua Sutherland as well. And it's going to be a chain reaction, and that gives way to the caution here, 74 laps in out of 100. And you can see Sutherland ends up on pit road, and we are once again pacing new race leader, Joe Armstrong. And now it's going to be that number 22 up in front, 74 laps in. So with Armstrong getting a jump on the restart, it's going to change the entirety of this race here if he stays up there and keeps on fighting. Jim Thurston makes up a few spots and moves up into 14th. So maybe an opportunity for Thurston to really become a fighter for this race to win. Coming across this time by, we might get the signal to make this a little bit of a quicker restart, and it might end up one lap shorter, if any case. And we're going to come back at lap number 77, whether it's the start of that lap or the end of it here, with Armstrong holding his own. 75 laps in. To this point, 26 laps remaining. Looks like Joshua Sutherland going to disconnect from the session, and with number 4 machine down and out as a result of that incident. Beckman going to apologize to Braxton Whitaker after that one, as he did set off the initial contact. And now as we come through this time by, the 22 of Armstrong is the man in control. How about Josh Lilly? And the driver, that number 97, struggling in qualifying. I'm used to Josh Lilly further up in front in the qualifying session, but today that didn't really work out. However, now that number 97, 17th to 4th, and while not the biggest mover on the day, definitely want to keep an eye out for, as Lilly didn't get the best of qualifying laps and his return to the points nonetheless. He's up there and might have a chance to sneak inside the podium if all goes well in this coming restart. Josh Lilly going to be in 4th, Alexander Balderas in 5th, Thomas Coonan in 6th, and Sean Rowe there in 7th. Top 10 all going to be organized as Xander McKinney opts to go down and into pit road, and we'll see the big damage for the drivers around McKinney. However, it looks like Xander is on pit road himself, just getting a little bit of extra service to put himself back in the mix. Devins Baker, he's shredded. You see there, the right front tire is entirely gone, and looks like he's got no chance to come back out for the rest of the night. Except for now, he just got a faster pair, and he will be returning 2 laps down. Braxton Whitaker, all the same, going to be faster pairs, saving the both of them. And it looks like now they've used their one and only. Let's hope they don't have to use any other for the rest of the day, because they do not have one from this point on. Thurston going to be finding himself in 14th, so he's one of those drivers to look out for, even though he's so far back. It's Armstrong, Schaefer, Page 1, 2, 3 up in front. And now with Armstrong taking the lead and holding his own, he might have a chance to bring it all together. He will come back green with 23 laps remaining here. Armstrong gonna choose this time by, and where does he decide to go? It looks like down to the bottom. Joe Armstrong going to be right down low. Chase Schaefer up top. It's going to be Lilly and Page with each other as well. Alexander Balderas rounds out the top 5. How about Thomas Coonan there in 6th? The rookie also having a great run. And you can see Henry Kaloff, Sean Rowe, Aladam Contreras, Nathan Palawada also making up the top 10. Joe Armstrong here is going to put himself in a great position to perhaps get the jump again on this restart. However, Chase Schaefer now up top in that 2nd spot. Maybe going to do things a little bit different here, learning from his mistakes. And he was able to get that lead for oh so long before we saw James Thurston and him get involved. Maybe a chance to redeem himself here. That is still up to what's left. 23 laps. When we get back to it this time by, it's going to be Armstrong, Schaefer, top 2, as we will bring the field back to green right about now. Joe Armstrong going to be the man who gets us going, and down on the inside, the iRacing official pace car going to take that hard left turn in. 23 laps to go in restart number 2. Green flags out again, stack up in the back, but Armstrong gets away nicely. Now with 22 laps to go this time by, we're going to crank it up with the best camera partners on the iRacing platform, TrackCams22.com. For all iRacing broadcasters, check out TrackCams22.com or Facebook.com/TrackCams for iRacing's highest quality camera packages for over 100 cars and tracks. 22 laps to go this time by, so let's crank it up. Brought to you by TrackCams22.com. 16 laps to go. This time by the driver, the number 99, Chase Schaefer, advantageous. He's got the race lead right now over River Page, and you might notice Joe Armstrong no longer here on the track because he disconnected from the session. It looks like he disconnected on his own volition here. So, with that being said, all of a sudden, the battle going to lie for those in second. Josh Lilly going at it now with River Page, and maybe Alexander Balderas is going to get in the mix as well. It's a different look up in front. And now the number 95 machine looking to get up there in a top 3 position. You see he finds himself now just a few hundredths of a second away from Josh Lilly. Maybe an opportunity right now to find himself up in third, maybe go a little bit higher. And coming through this time by the number 95 of Balderas there with Lilly. Fourth is going to be, of course, the 95, and third spot goes to 97 here. Lilly, part-time campaign, and he's been very successful at these intermediates in the few races he's had. Qualifying, not his strongest, however, he's ended up, and more now he's going to make the move to put himself up 14 from where he was in the starting grid. A very impressive run so far tonight. That is not at all in doubt. River Page is going to be still there, 0.3 of a second back, and it looks like despite the fact he hasn't quite gotten through so far, he is definitely in a great position to keep up with that podium streak of his he's trying to build upon and keep those great races in regards to the points battle. As it stands, still there with 13 laps to go. It's not an open and shut case. As you see there, it's going to be Jason Beckman right to the quarter panel of Brandon Dugan, and that could have been very, very close. All things considered, it looks like the number 55 of Brandon Dugan makes do and keeps in the 13th. Corey Lyles going to be in 12th, and Nathan Palawati 11th, with side-by-side battles continuing. The driver, the number 55, and Palawata is going to be the 78. Now a little bit stretched out. Corey Lyles putting the pressure on the top side here as Dugan opts to stay on the bottom. A few final side-by-side battles on the night. And it looks like right now we're coming to the point where it's going to be a little bit trickier to make those passes. The opportunities are slimmer, so you got to be a little bit more aggressive, which is exactly what we're seeing right now as Nathan Palawata opts to go down to the bottom side. He's going to make his move as such, gets up into 10th. 11th spot is going to be Casey Bentz, and 12th is Brandon Dugan. Aaron Schugel now joins his JFR teammate in the fight, and he's there. Going to be side by side. The 56 of Lyles just barely is going to have that spot taken right back in his favor, but all 4 drivers there are going to beat the wall down. Beckman, Rowe, Schugel, and Lyles. Oh no! It's going to be both drivers sliding and both drivers saving. How about a double play? They're going to slide again, and they still keep it together. Sean Rowe and Jason Beckman, no mercy, but they both keep it straight. And that could have been disaster twice over. Just like that, it's going to be Jason Beckman getting right out there and getting the spot despite the beating and banging and troubles galore. He's going to take the spot as Thomas Coonan gets damaged, and you can see he's up on the wall with Casey Bentz coming by. And now Thomas looks to have torn something. That's because he's hung up in the wall. He's all the way up to the right side. I think he might have had a mechanical failure outside of the sim, and we'll see if he can get off the track. That he does, but we got to take a look back here as it looks like Thomas Coonan issues outside of the simulator. And hung all the way to the right side, and it looks like he's just going to bring it down on his own volition. Usually when you see someone hang up to the top side like that, you wonder, is it the wheel that caused it? It looks like in this case, no, it was not. So, with that being said, Thomas Coonan going to fade back in 18th as a result. And right now, looking all throughout the field, Jim Thurston up into 8th. He got by Dugan and Nathan Palawata, so a recovery, albeit not exactly what he wanted, with Balderas down to the bottom side. Now on Josh Lilly. Now that 95, looking down on the low side, Josh Lilly right up top, still side by side, coming across the stripe, advantage, Josh Lilly, 6 laps to go. Next time by, we made it back down to the 7, and you can see here, it's a very, very slow going race up in front, but Balderas is feeling all the effects right now, fighting for third. He's going to get loose, ends up getting shot back slightly, and Lilly is en route to what could be his first career podium. He finds himself now in what could be the perfect circumstance to go all the way and get that top 3. He's there, but it looks like Balderas is going to fight right back. Just like that, Jason Beckman also going to be slow. We'll update you more on that if it comes to shove. Josh Lilly goes high. Balderas down to the bottom here. The 95 now clears Josh Lilly, but going to get sliced right down to the bottom side. The 97 opts to take it wide open and goes into 3 and 4 once again, lunging deep with a minor. Beckman is destroyed, as you saw there on pit road. All the while, now the battle for third continuing to heat up. Alexander Balderas is going to look down at the bottom side all over again. 44 thousandths of a second. He is going to put himself there and try to get the lunge going. It's a close call here, and it looks like it's going to work out just enough to get down the back straightaway and remain dead even. 30 thousandths of a second has been the gap for the better half of 10 laps now. 5 laps to go. And you can see smoke still billowing from Jason Beckman. And you see there, Balderas clear. Take a look behind and you'll see how close it is between he and Josh Lilly. Lilly going to find himself right behind Balderas now with less than 4 complete laps to go. The 97 going to back off ever so slightly. Brandon Dugan now fighting with Jim Thurston. And it looks like now Thurston might get a spot taken from what's been a recovery drive after losing the lead. Looks like now I'm going to find himself falling ever so slightly back. Balderas is now going to be fighting for third, but looks like he's gotten away just enough. Meanwhile, Chase Schaefer finds himself up and ahead. The number 99 is Schaefer now up to the point. He's got himself advantageous over River Page and another mile and a half, and it looks like another potential victory for Chase Schaefer. He's going to come across the line, and Popsicles this time by. 2 laps to go. The number 99 machine holds his own, gets across the line. River Page is now more than half a second behind. And Josh Lilly, Alexander Balderas, they're still close, but not quite as much as it was previously here. As they're going to come across the line once more, it looks like Balderas might have enough of an edge to carry it for a lap and a half. Aladam Contreras with Henry Kaloff and Vincent Uechi. Another battle. It's a 3-horse race here, and they'll be fighting to the checkered flag all the same. However, whatever happens this time by, this race is official. 1 lap to go. Chase Schaefer returning to competition in his number 99, and he has not missed a beat. Victory in Atlanta, taking a little bit of a break away from the sim, and returning tonight in Chicagoland. He's come back into his form once more and taking it into the front row in qualifying, managing the track, and of course coming out with the advantage and strategy. That's what made all the difference. Coming across the final corner this time by Chase Schaefer will celebrate in victory lane. Checkered flag is his. Schaefer wins in Chicagoland. Podium going to be decided at the line. You'll see Dugan, Thurston, Kaloff, and Aaron Schugel with Aladam Contreras destroyed. He will barely make it out on the lead lap after the exploits of that final lap. Schaefer coming by, and he is due to celebrate. At the end of the day, Chase Schaefer will win from River Page second, Alexander Balderas third, Josh Lilly fourth, and Vincent Guecci fifth, with Brandon Dugan then sixth and Jim Thurston seventh, Henry Kaloff eighth, Aaron Schugel is going to be in ninth, and Corey Lyles 10th. Nathan Palawada is 11th with Sean Rowe 12th and Casey Benz 13th. Bryce Kohler's 14th, and it's Aladam Contreras 15th with Braxton Whitaker 16th, Devins Baker 17th, 18th Jason Beckman, Thomas Coonan 19th, and Xander McKinney 20th. And 3 other retirees immediately after in Armstrong, Sutherland, and Carlos Truther as Chase Schaefer burns down the house. A triple burnout at the line for Chase Schaefer and his fellow podium sitters, and Paige and Alexander Valderas. The top three have come together literally now, and they're celebrating after a tremendous victory for Schaefer. Valderas gets back on the podium, and River Page is going to keep himself oh so consistent at these intermediates. Now, River Page driving away. Same goes for Alexander Valderas. Looks like Schaefer's going to come back to the line, but smoke is billowing, and it looks like our drivers are standing by right now in the waiting room, so we're going to get a word from all those involved in tonight's racing. Chase Schaefer, the notable man of the hour, we're going to try to get him first here as the number 99 collects the checkered flag and wins again, this time in Chicagoland. Let's get a word right now from your overall race winner, Chase Schaefer. Tonight, leading just under half of the full race. Tell you that much, a very impressive statistic to note. 49 laps led, and for Chase Schaefer, an exciting day comes to a close with victory. I'll tell you this much, for Chase Schaefer, getting back here with his second victory, first, of course, since Atlanta, gotta be a great feeling. And right now, we're gonna figure out what it's like for the driver of the number 99. We're going to get a word right now, and hopefully have the rest of your top three coming in immediately thereafter. Chase Schaefer getting it done, and he wins here in Chicagoland. Let's get him in right now. Looks like he's just about ready, and we're going to get him all settled in with our top three interviews, first of which going to be the number 99 of Chase Schaefer. Now we're getting connected as 49 laps led and a checkered flag. We're going to get you a race winner with us. It is the 99 of Chase Schaefer. Tonight, dominance and pit road finesse, that makes the difference, and you're back in victory lane as if you never left. Schaefer, how you feeling?
We feel good. You know, we had the incident that kind of brought us back for unfortunate circumstances, but it worked out in the end. Yeah, it was a really fun race. You know, we made some mistakes. Like we hit the wall on that first run, and that kind of set us back, and we just settled down in third. But yeah, that second run was fun, just kind of sitting there, and then that last section of the race was fun. You know, battling with River, Joe for a minute. Overall, really good race. Not too many cautions, but yeah, a lot of fun.
And tonight, another very clean race of only 2 cautions when it was said and done. The battle came down to you and Thurston first, then we had that caution, and things changed from there, but you remain still about the quickest driver on the field. So what was it like recovering from what was the biggest incident of the day?
Well, I didn't know that Joe was just gonna leave, so that was kind of unfortunate. But I was hoping to race him because we do Road to Pro together. We did the Drive Smart thing together. It's always fun racing him. But yeah, no, just after the Thurston thing, that kind of let me reset new tires, 25 laps. Didn't really have to worry about saving, and that's exactly what happened. We just ran our best laps. We stayed in front of everyone else.
And making everything work out when it mattered the most. Chase Schaefer, you come back here, and it looks like dominance again at the intermediates, where you're oh so strong at. And this entire 99 crew have been so great at these tracks. We saw Atlanta previously, and I'm back again here. Now, up next, a short track in Richmond. Now, we know Road to Pro is going to be a big factor again, but Las Vegas might be the next race you're able to attend. What's it going to take as we return to Sin City, or, if you're able, Richmond as well?
Same thing. Just keeping the tire heats down, not burning our shit up, and just just running overall good and making smart moves. I'm excited for Las Vegas. That's one of my more better tracks. I love racing there, multi-groove, especially now we have dynamic tracks. So I'm definitely excited for that.
So already looking towards what's next, perhaps in Nevada. Chase Schaefer, you win tonight in Chicagoland. You have any final shout-outs to give?
Follow Monster Designs on Twitter and Instagram. That's all I got. Oh, Speed Range Setups. Cool, awesome dirt and oval setups. Go there. Yippee.
And there we have it. Chase Schaefer collecting the checkered flag. We thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Schaefer on the way. We'll bring in second place driver today, River Page. And overall, a great run for Page again, getting a top 3 finish, keeping himself in the title fight. River, another very solid performance for this crew entirely. Second place on the day, and 3 laps led overall, and you found yourself in lead battle for just about every lap, no matter what was going on. What was it like out there?
Well, that's That was really fun. This car keeps putting on good shows here. I'm glad the races have been so good. That's just kind of disappointing that we keep getting like one caution right in the middle of the race that kind of screws the strategies. I think it definitely helped me this time. I pitted with Chase, but my pit entrance was super slow, and I slid my box, so I lost a bunch of time. I think I was going to end up like 6th or 7th at the end of that run by the time I had to pit again. So that caution saved me for sure. But just it was fun. I saw them wrecking each other for sure. I saw it happening. Thurston was, he's always aggressive, so he was not gonna, hold back. And then Chase was on old tires, so he was just trying to hold him off, and that definitely saved me. It's kind of annoying to lose the Chase again just by that much. I really I just didn't have the speed I had earlier on in the race, but it's still, a second is good. It's just Chase keeps coming up here and showing me up, man. I think I'll beat him one of these races.
And we see how good you've been in these intermediates and close again. Chase Schaefer tonight. Strategy kind of cut off by that caution. So how was it like adapting given a much different race from what you might have expected given that first half?
Yeah, it was really, my car was super good in the first half. I know Chase made a mistake and he had to drive back up to us, but my tires were almost 10% better than his. I didn't know about Thurston's, but I was so good in the first run. I thought I kind of had it on locks because Chase, he tried a different strategy and I followed him. But the car was just completely different once I got fuel back in it on the beginning of that first run. I was going to be second. Well, I mean, I was for a little bit before Thurston passed me, but I was going to be like maybe a second and a half behind Chase. And those first couple of laps, I didn't know what I was doing. I was super slow. But then after that, I was like, okay, it's tight now. The first run was super good. Now it's tight. So I put some more fuel in the car, and I was just a little too slidey at the end of the race to catch Chase. But I just hopefully one of these races we can actually get a full green start to finish. So you can see, I don't know, Brandon Dugan keeps saving fuel. The last two races that we've had like strategies like this here in Atlanta, he's had enough fuel to make it to the end when the caution came out. So I think at Las Vegas or a track that's definitely easier on the tires, we'll be able to see a good strategy. But this car's hard to adapt, so it's hard to know what to do. So I don't know.
And tonight, regardless of the challenges adapting, it's a second place finish for this number 24 team. And with that being said, do you have any final shout outs or thoughts before we move on to Richmond?
Yeah, just shout out to Flopper Racing and Hager Electrical, FTN, of course, as always. Persistem, Power Smash Infinity Speed, Motorsports, Heart Attack Energy for bringing me this very fast Toyota Supra. And yeah, we'll just move on to Richmond. I don't really have high hopes for that, but we'll see how it goes. It'll be fun.
Moving on, next to a short track, River Page, you finish second today in Chicagoland. We thank you for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
River Page on the move. One more driver to speak to. Our final driver on the podium with one lap led on the day, Alexander Balderas, up and down night and starting in 12th and keeping yourself up there ever since in the top 10. It's a third place finish and one perhaps a little less expected than your other solid runs, but tonight everything worked out and you got through, overall sitting in the podium.
Well, I'm happy, David. We needed one of these races. The past 4 weeks haven't been really great for us. Could have had multiple chances, just self-mistakes and leading to poor finishes, not what we really needed in a championship battle. We have the win, so we're pretty much locked in the playoffs now, top 5 in points, maybe go up a couple spots after Jim's, not so successful race. But, I rate Chicagoland as one of my best tracks, and so to run up here is not super a surprise. What is a surprise, though, is being able to come back after Joe almost hit me on pit road. I had to slow down so Mason could have a reason to clear my black flag in that. So that really gave me a not-so-good pit stop and ended me up 8th. That caution with Chase and Jim really kind of saved me in the end, and was able to kind of cut through the field, had an awesome 5-lap battle with Josh Lilly there in the end, and was able to solidify 3rd, and I think that's really going to help our championship points situation after a stretch of not-so-good races.
And a good rebound race. We mentioned you definitely needed one tonight, and a similar race to what we've seen previously when it comes to your successful events. Long, strategy-based, and only 2 cautions in between. So anything about the night in particular that helped you succeed in that front?
Well, really, it was going through that first run, and really, like, it's all going to circle back to if Joe hadn't done that on pit road, and if I had been starting up a little higher in the field. If I didn't start so low, I would have had a chance to be up there really with Chase, Jim, and River there at the first 40-lap run, because I was doing really good, catching Paliwoda, and was right behind him by a couple tenths of a second. It was really trying to holler him down. Got the extra point for the lap led, so I'm really glad I did that in the end to finish third. But, you know, it just all comes down to strategy, really. If I had just changed up a couple laps when I pitted and didn't burn my tires off so severely there at that final run, I think I would have really ended up in that same spot, though, because Chase and River were just, their raw speed tonight was really what just put them in front of me at the end. Battling with Josh really didn't really help my tires there, but what can I say? Chase and River are the class of field when it comes to this, and I'm just happy to get third.
The good run tonight, you mentioned third. Richmond's up next, though. What's it going to take maybe to succeed at a much different style of racing? It's a short track.
Well, Richmond's no average short track, David. It's quite interesting how since it's most bigger than a lot of short tracks, you can actually use multiple lanes. So seeing those first 2 lanes being used is going to be certainly interesting. The setup, the iRacing fixed setup for that is not so great. So maybe if we can get another setup, it'd be, would make the racing a little bit better. But I think it's a race to look forward to. Definitely going to hopefully be clean and green. That's usually what Richmond is. So, if I can maybe qualify in the mid-pack and then slowly kind of work my way up the field as I usually do, I think I might have a good chance to get another top 5, and that would be really good for points.
And eyeing another successful finish in just a week's time, Alexander Balderas, third on the day. You have any final shout-outs before we, of course, conclude this one?
Well, I got to give a shout-out to, I always have to give a shout-out to TCB. He was the one who has helped me get this fast and, other stuff like that. Also have to help Chase. He gave me some of the lines to run. If you notice, I changed my line about 50 laps in. I started running a wider arc in both the corners, and it turned out to be so much faster. Yeah, I got to thank him for giving me some of his Road to Pro secretive knowledge there and helping me out get a little bit faster. But I also got to thank Mason for putting IORA on. I didn't think the season would be so good for me, and turns out I'm wrong. The season has been, as a matter of fact, my best in IORA history, and I have a win on the season, top 5 in points, could be top 3. Hopefully with a drop week and a few more good finishes, can get up there in the top 3 in points, have a battle for the championship. That would be really cool. But overall, thanks to everyone who puts this on, and I'm just thankful for everything, man. That was an awesome race.
And a great race overall, but for this 95 team, a podium, a noteworthy one at that. Alexander Balderas, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, David.
And the 95 going to be on the move. Our final driver in the top 3 today is Balderas, who comes home in third, River Page in second, and Chase Schaefer, the driver who overall gets it done and wins here in Chicagoland. Well, that was a fantastic night of action here in Joliet, and we'll be right back in about a half hour's time with the Highline Racing League. They'll be heading to Talladega for 70 laps, so stay tuned on FTN. When this broadcast ends, we'll automatically send you to the next one, which kicks off at about 9:30 p.m. Eastern, so keep your eyes peeled for that one, and we hope you enjoy if you stay tuned with us for the rest of the night. If not, we thank you for stopping by and watching our coverage from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. This is a presentation of the IORA Cup Series Season 5 and the American Ethanol 150. I've been your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz, commentating and producing, and I'll be back with the Highline Racing League coverage in just a few minutes' time, and we'll be back next live on FTN Saturday with the Saturday Night Thunder Grand National Series, so keep your eyes peeled and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more information about all of our coverage. Thank you for stopping by tonight, and we hope to see you continue watching the rest of the coverage on the day. Either way, we hope you have a fantastic night.